Welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. If you've been feeling a little funky this week, if you've been feeling like what the hell is going on, you are not alone. I've had multiple friends text me this week saying that they've been in a funk or they had the worst week ever or they're just like so overwhelmed. And if you've been feeling that way, just know that you are not alone. I've been blaming everything on the full moon that we just had that's about releasing old stories. And that's why this podcast episode is perfect for you today. But I just want you to know that because when I'm in a funk, I like to hear that other people are going through it too. And it's kind of like, a worldwide thing. And so let's just blame the moon. But my intention for this podcast episode is that it's going to pull you right out of anything that you're going through, bring you back to this feeling of just excitement and making you a magnet for all the wealth that you freaking deserve because you deserve that shit. So let's get into today's episode, which is the number one money manifestation secret I wish I knew sooner. I'm so excited to deliver this podcast episode to you because I literally wish I knew this when I first started my manifesting journey because, oh my gosh, my life probably would be even different than it is now, right? I would be manifesting 10 times faster because once I learned that I'm going to teach you, that's exactly what started happening. And the craziest thing is I don't see other people teaching this. And so I feel like this is my duty to teach you guys this. So the number one money manifestation secret I wish I knew sooner is that everything is a limiting belief. And I know this because I've tested this out myself. Everything that I teach you guys, I test out on myself. I'm the guinea pig. Everything that I teach in my membership, I have tested out. It's tried and true. And I embody it. I wake up every morning and I do the exact things I teach my clients how to do in the membership. Because I want you guys to know, like, this is real, this works. So everything is a limiting belief. How did I realize this, right? Well, I started just playing around. I was like, if everything is a limiting belief, then let me make up the craziest beliefs. So one of my beliefs that I made up is that 80% of the time I fly, I have a seat open next to me. And if you follow me on my Instagram stories, you will see that I will literally post, I'm like, yep, again, I have a seat next to me. Every time one of my friends flies with me, they're like, how do you do this? I literally will have the pilot get on the loudspeaker and he'll be like, no one should be sitting next to each other because there's enough seats for everyone. So there should be a middle seat in between everyone. It's happened to me multiple times. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. My other fun belief that I have, not limiting belief, my other fun belief that I have is that people love to give me presents. I've had friends literally be like, I thought of you and I sent you this book. One of my guy friends sent me a pregnancy pillow, even though I'm not pregnant. He was just like, oh my God, they feel so nice to lay in. Like, I am constantly having people giving me cute little presents and I love it. And the last one, when I came out of college and I was really broke, and I did not want to spend money on $20 drinks when I lived in New York, but I still wanted to go out, is I decided that people love to buy me drinks. And even to this day, I will have people buy me drinks. Back then, I used to have my guy friends literally pull a $20 out of their wallet and be like, here's your allowance for the day. And I'd be like, thank you. Like the craziest stuff happened. And that's how I realized that everything is a limiting belief. And so when it comes to money, what's happening is that money wants to flow to you. It's like water in a hose. But what happens is that we put kinks in the hose that stop the water from coming to us. And those kinks are the limiting beliefs that we put on money. If you take away the kinks, you take away the limiting beliefs, then the water can just flow to you. So if you just believe I am worthy of money, no matter what age I am, no matter what I look like, no matter, what's going on in my business, nothing, the money's going to be attracted to you and it's going to flow to you. So today I'm going to go through the 5 biggest bullshit manifestation myths or limiting beliefs that me or my clients used to subscribe to. I find that like everyone usually believes one of these beliefs and it stops money from coming to you. So the first one that everyone always says is you need to be high vibe to manifest money. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that. Obviously, I want you guys to be happy and manifest money. That's the goal in the membership. That's my goal. I'm trying to, make you guys feel good and manifest money, because what's the point of manifesting money if you're just like, always feeling like shit? But I want you guys to know that you can feel like shit. You don't have to be high vibe every single fucking day, and you still can manifest money. And this is exactly what happened to my client in the membership. She posted a win and she said, feeling shit and manifesting anyways. And here's the story that she posted. I recently caught up on the last live call, and gosh, much needed reminder that money and emotions don't need to be entangled. Exactly. I was feeling really down today and sat down to journal. I started by saying, first of all, I just want to say that no matter how I feel now, money gets to come to me either way. Oh my God, how powerful. Of course, after my journaling sesh, I checked my phone and saw that my sister sent me $200. Oh, yes, I wasn't feeling shit, but I wasn't particularly high vibe last week. And also still got $200 from mom as a thank you for making my grandma happy, even though all we did was my favorite activities, cafe hopping, and getting our hair and nails done. So what happens is a lot of people will feel like shit one day and they'll be like, oh my God, fuck, I can't manifest the money coming in. Like, it's not going to happen today because I'm not feeling good, right? And it's just like a diet. It's like when someone cheats on their diet and they have a cheat meal and then they're like, oh, it's all down the drain. Like, now I got to throw away my whole diet. Instead, if you're just like, all right, I'm having a bad day or I'm having a bad hour, and then you're like, but let me get back on the horse, you're still going to get your manifestation. But the other thing is, stop entangling the two. Like she said, stop making it mean that if you don't feel good, you can't manifest money. The point of this whole episode is to make you realize that we want to stop making something mean something about something else. Stop making the fact that this is going on in your life mean that you can't have money. Instead, what we want to do is decide the meaning. So we want to decide that even though, like she did, I'm feeling like shit, I'm still a magnet for money, right? And so that's the first one, so powerful. Second, this one actually was one of my limiting beliefs, and it was that you need to be organized with your money to attract more. I don't know if you guys know this about me. You probably do if you've listened to my podcast before. I am a hot fucking mess, right? I am a valley girl. I like to go out with my friends. I'm a normal, girl who wanted to build a business. I wasn't like this boss babe who wanted to be in a suit all the time. If that's you, unbelievable. Like, good for you. But I am type B. I literally cannot spell. I'm like dyslexic. If you look at my Instagram posts, there's something spelled wrong all the time. I am not organized. But this is just me. But I love what I do, and I wanted to build a business, and I wanted to show other women that they could go out with their friends and party, and they could be hungover on the weekends, and they didn't have to be working on their business 24/7, and you could be paid to exist and be paid for exactly who you are. And that's who I am. Right now I'm literally recording this in my PJs. Well, let me reframe. Let me say this right. I'm in my PJs top, no bottoms. I'm in my underwear, and it's 3 p.m. on a Friday. So hopefully that kind of gives you the vibe of how I am, right? And so I used to think, because all these, books or all these, I even saw a TikTok about the fact that you need to be organized with your money. So again, yes, obviously I want us all to be organized with your money. That's a great practice. And, the more organized you are, obviously you'll know where your money's going out and your money's coming in, but whatever, right? But being more organized doesn't make you attract money. Same with if you're not organized, it doesn't make you not attract money, right? And so I want you guys to know this, because that was a huge limiting belief for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to change who I am. I need to be this person who is so organized with money for it to come in. Because yet again, everything is a limiting belief. So if you decide you need to be organized to attract money, that's exactly what's going to happen, right? And so how I actually got rid of this limiting belief is, it was only about maybe a year or two ago. I was doing my certification for Yes Supply, and we were getting rid of limiting beliefs with a partner. And to my partner, I said that. I was like, I have the belief that I need to be organized to attract money. And she literally laughed at me, and I loved it. And she was like, oh my gosh, Sam. She was like, I make multiple six figures a year, and I'm not organized at all. She was like, I just have a bank account that it goes into, and I have a credit card, and that's it. And I was like, wait, that's what I have too. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I have been putting this construct on money this whole time of how it has to come in. And I actually also saved, this is kind of creepy, but I really like this girl on Instagram. I saved one of her stories that had this question. Her name is Shelby Sapp. She's like a sales coach in Miami. Love it. Go follow her if you like. But someone asked her a question on her stories, and she has no idea who I am. That's why I'm saying this is creepy, but I thought it was perfect for this episode. So someone said, how do you budget for your business and personal? She makes so much money, you guys. And she wrote, this is controversial, but I don't budget. I honestly never look at my bank account unless it's time to pay my employees or Amex. For real, your relationship and energy with money is so important. So as soon as you minimize the control money has on your life, you'll make more. I have a badass finance guy that handles all my investments and sends me monthly reports. I freaking love that because I felt the same way. So you get to decide. If you decide that the less you look at your bank account, the more money you make, good for you. I mean, for some people, that's actually true because when they look at their bank account, they don't feel good. And then they start having their thoughts think different things. And then they start manifesting and spiraling in the wrong way. So it's really up to you. So that's another one. You do not need to be organized to attract more money. Is it a good practice? Sure. But just like that girl, you could just get a financial advisor, or you could have a bank account and a credit card, and that's it. So, but I think what they mean by that is like, some people say organize, and then some people say like putting your money into, investments and stuff like that. That's different, right? Obviously, that's a good practice for your money. So number 3, you can't manifest money if you have debt. I love this one because next week in the membership, my client who went from $80,000 in debt, she was losing her house. She could not pay for her kids' Christmas gifts. They were like barely eating when I met her. $80,000 in debt. Literally losing her mortgage, right? And she went from $80,000 in debt. She found me on Instagram. And from the leap of God, she was like, I need to work with you. You guys probably know the story, but I was like, this decision is going to have to come from you. I would never, ever, ever tell you to put yourself in more debt to work with me ever. She was like, I just know that this is it for me. And together we worked on her mindset, and she went from $80,000 in debt to building a 6-figure plus business. She went from 2,000 followers on Instagram to 92,000 followers on Instagram. Every time I talk to her, I'm blown away. She literally is being flown all over the world to do her balloon artists. She's getting paid for it. She's getting paid for her vacations, which the craziest part is, I remember when we were working together, she was like, I just want to be able to like pay for a vacation for my son. Now she's literally getting invited to do this balloon expose. She'll tell you guys more in the membership. And they're paying for her hotel, and they're letting her husband and her son come. Like, what? I'm sorry. Like, it's insane. She flies business class. She was able to buy a new car with her passive income, literally made $40,000 with her passive income. Now I think it's like $70,000. Like, it is insane how she took a balloon business and now she's like a celebrity. It just literally blows me away. But the coolest thing is, oh my gosh, yes, you can still manifest money if you have debt. And now my favorite part is that she spoils her kid during Christmas. And that couldn't make me happier if I tried. And she came to me, and all we did was really work on her mindset, and then we got into strategy. And so she's going to come to the membership next week and answer all the questions that you guys have. Like, some questions are, do you have to believe in your manifestations? Some questions are, how can you still manifest when you're in debt? And so if you guys have questions and you're in the membership, go ask them. If you're not in the membership, but you want to come to this Q&A, join at the link below. I mean, the membership's only $50 a month right now. And this call is worth thousands. Like, the fact that you guys are getting a Q&A from her, and she went from $80,000 in debt to owning a 6-figure plus business and being flown out all over the world. Like, if I were you, I would get in on this. Even if you just want to come for the month and see it, but no brainer. Yeah. I love her so much. I'm so excited. So next, so yes, you can manifest money even if you have debt, 100%. 4, you have to follow a rigid process to manifest money. So another client in my membership, she has a meal prepping business. And she came to the membership and she was feeling stuck. And she actually put a question for one of my Q&A calls. And she was like, I own a meal prep service. I'm not seeing consistent growth. I feel stuck at a certain amount of orders per week and get upset when I don't beat the previous numbers. It's almost like I'm competing with myself and it makes me question why people aren't ordering. Literally 2 weeks later, she messaged me and she said she had 48 orders this week and she had 30 last week. So that means she had 50% more orders in 1 week without changing her strategy, just from manifesting. She wrote, I'm in such a good mood. This is nuts. I'm telling you, manifestation energy work is a real fucking thing. Yes, it is. And she also said she made her first 10K month and she hasn't had one in a year. And the only thing that changed is she joined the membership and started manifesting. And so the coolest part is I asked her, because I like to ask my clients when they manifest something, how did you do it? So that in the future, they can go back and remember how they did it, or I can help other clients in the membership. And she literally said, like, this is something you'd love to hear because I felt ashamed and felt like I'm not doing it the right way or at the right time. And she was like, I'm not the type of person who wakes up and meditates or listens to something uplifting right away. She has severe anxiety in the morning. And I feel like we can all relate to that. And so she did the practices in her own way on her own time. And it was something that was, messier and like how she wanted to do it. And that really worked around what she was going through. And so I think people think, and that's why I want you to know too, like in the membership, you can do it however you want to do it, what way feels best for you. It's not about the technique. It's about finding the technique that makes you think, feel, and act as if you are the person who already has what you want. That's what manifesting is. And so we're just using those techniques to help you get into that vibe quicker and faster. And so, yeah, you don't have to follow a rigid manifestation process. You get to make it your own. And I think that's the best part, because a lot of my clients come to me and they're like, I feel like I'm doing this wrong. I feel like I'm trying to do 800 different things. And I'm like, take one deep breath. No. The only thing that you're doing wrong is telling yourself that you're doing it wrong. And you don't have to do 800 things. You get to pick what feels good for you and then decide that that is enough. If you make the meaning that you're not doing enough, that's going to mean that you're not doing enough and you're not going to be able to manifest. If you decide that I did everything and the money's here, the money's on its way to me, that's what's going to happen, right? So 2 more. 5, you have to completely let go or it won't happen. I fucking hate this one. And why I fucking hate this one is like, we're humans. We're never going to let it go. Like, you want something. You're never going to stop. That's like that saying, like, when you stop looking for your soulmate, that's when you'll find them. Like, is anyone really not looking? Come on. Like, I go to freaking McDonald's and I'm like, oh my God, is anyone cute here? Like, come on. So I'm going to Chick-fil-A tonight. You guys, I'm so excited with like all my girlfriends because the new chicken pimiento sandwich is back. I sound like I am getting paid by them. I wish. If Chick-fil-A ever listens to this podcast, please sponsor me. It is what dreams are made of. If you've never had it, please go and get it and then message me on Instagram and tell me how your life has changed. So you do not have to completely let it go or it won't happen. I've had so many manifestations where I'm having such bad anxiety, being like, is it going to come? Is it going to come? And I'm like, thinking about it, I'm manifesting it over and over and over and over again. And while I'm manifesting it over and over again, that's when it comes in. So do not worry. You do not have to let it go completely. If you want to, you can. But again, just limiting belief. Lastly, you need to hustle non-stop. Obviously, this is what my whole brand is about, but people think that they need to hustle nonstop to manifest money. Obviously, you have to take action, right? I'm not going to tell you guys to sit on the couch, eat Doritos, and watch Housewives all day and think that, you're going to build a business, right? That's just not going to happen. You're obviously going to take the action. But what people don't realize, and this happens to me a lot too, actually, is that I always know I need to go back to the inner work when, for example, it's a launch and maybe you've done everything that you're supposed to do that day for your launch and you decide it's not enough. So I'm going to post more. I'm going to send out another email. I'm going to do something else, right? And that's amazing, right? But there's a difference of you're going to do that because you think it's all working and you're going to take the action from a place of lack because you don't think you've done enough. And so when I'm taking action from a place of lack, nothing fucking happens ever because it's the energy behind it. And so when I realize that I'm just trying to do more instead of be more, that's when I'm like, I need to go back to the inner work. And so instead of trying to take action in the 3D reality, I want you to decide that the action you're taking is working. And so what happens for me is I actually, when I do less strategy, but I do more inner work, I always make more money. And that's honestly why I created the membership, because I was like, wait a second. When I do less, but I manifest more, that's when the money flows to me. And that's not saying like, don't do anything. Like I just said, you guys see me. I post 2 to 3 times a day. I go on my stories. I have this podcast. I'm in the membership. I do the things, right? But I'm not staying up till 8 p.m. to do something. No, never, right? You don't need to. So many times people overcomplicate. They think that they need to come out with another program, another launch, No. All I have right now, you guys, is my membership, one-on-one coaching, and that's it. And I'm having people message me all the time, even when I'm not selling it, right? Your business gets to be so simple. I don't do sales calls. I don't do DM outreach. I literally have the most simple freaking business ever. It feels incredible. I love my life right now. And I want you to know that that's because I stopped putting emphasis on the strategy and I started putting more emphasis on the inner work. And I've seen this time and time again with my clients. They come into the membership. They do not change their strategy. They do not do more. All they do is they manifest using the formula in the membership. They don't stay rigid to it, like I said. And then their world changes. I literally just had a client who was really stuck, and she came to me, and I was actually on a retreat with her, and she was like, I'm really stuck, and I really want to talk to someone. I was like, of course. And she was like, she has a beauty business, and she's like, I just ghosted my business for 2 months. I'm like, girl, I've been there 100%. And I was like, I know exactly what you have to do. You have to reprogram your mind, and that will help you show up and, be happier and be motivated and, get the results that you want. And so I was like, if you want to join the membership, that's a path that you can take. But I was like, no strings attached. I'm literally not selling you into it. I just knew, you guys, I knew that the membership was the answer to our prayers. And that's when you become a good saleswoman, because I was like, this is what you need. And it's literally not about the money. I just know this is exactly what's going to help you. And so she did end up joining the membership, and she messaged me. She was in it for like a week or less than a week. And she was like, Sam, I just got a new business partner and I got a huge order for my jewelry business. And she was like, I can't believe you didn't tell me to join that membership sooner. It's $50 a month and no commitment. She was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was just so happy because I knew that's exactly what she needed. So I hope you really liked this podcast episode. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I can't wait to listen to it over again. And so I hope you have an incredible freaking weekend. I love you all so much. If you want to join the membership, the link is below. $50 a month, no commitment. We have the time of our freaking lives. And I just love you guys so much. As always, like this podcast, share it, rate it, message me, talk to me. I love talking to you guys. And I just hope that all your wishes and your dreams come true. I love you.